Hello my friends, today I have a well-known story for you. So if you like my videos, subscribe my YouTube channel, click the bell icon, like my videos, comment in the comment section below and share my videos with your friends. So let's get started. Cinderella. Once in a far-off land there was a beautiful girl named Cinderella. She lived with her father, her stepmother, and two ugly stepsisters. One day, an invitation came from the king's palace. Every young girl in the kingdom was invited to a ball. But Cinderella's selfish stepsisters kept her so busy helping them to get ready that she had no time to make a dress for herself. And her stepmother insisted that Cinderella had to stay at home to clean the house after they left. At last, the sisters were ready. They laughed at Cinderella because she couldn't go to the ball. Cinderella ran out to the garden and wept. She was unhappy and felt lonely. Suddenly, a beautiful lady appeared before her and said, "I'm your fairy godmother, and I will see that you go to the ball if you do as I say. First, bring me a yellow pumpkin." Cinderella did all that she was told. She brought a large yellow pumpkin and then her cage of little white mice. The fairy godmother waved her wand. Like magic, the pumpkin was changed into a golden coach, and white mice became horses and footmen for the coach. "Now," said the fairy godmother, "you will need a gown to wear to the ball. You must be the most beautiful girl there." Once again, the fairy godmother waved her wand, and Cinderella was dressed in the loveliest gown she had ever seen. On her foot were tiny glass slippers. Cinderella's fairy godmother told her to have a wonderful time at the ball, but to remember that at the stroke of the midnight, the magic would end. Then she waved her wand and disappeared. Cinderella rode through the streets in a golden coach. When she arrived at the palace, the footman helped her down. She could hear music and laughter coming from the ballroom as she went up to the palace stairs. Every lady in the kingdom was dressed in her finest clothes, but when Cinderella arrived, she was the most beautiful of all. Neither the king nor queen nor anyone there knew who this beautiful girl was. No one had ever heard of Cinderella except her stepmother and stepsisters, and they thought she was at home. The prince rushed to meet Cinderella. They danced together all evening, and the prince and Cinderella fell in love. Suddenly, the clock began to strike 12. Without a word, Cinderella left the prince and dashed out of the ballroom and down to the palace stairs. As she ran, she lost one of her little glass slippers, but she didn't stop. She hurried to her coach and arrived home just as the clock finished striking. At that very moment, the magic ended. The coach, horses, footmen, and the beautiful dress all disappeared. No one could find the beautiful girl who had left the ball in such a hurry. The prince wanted to marry her, and he decided to search every house in the kingdom to find her. He sent his most trusted messenger to look for her. The entire kingdom was in a state of excitement. The princess's messenger was going from house to house with a little glass slipper to see whose feet it would fit. Every girl in the land tried it on, even Cinderella's stepsisters, but no one could wear it. When the messenger saw Cinderella scrubbing the floor, he invited her to try it on. The stepsisters laughed, but Cinderella's foot slid smoothly into the tiny glass slipper. Her stepsisters couldn't believe it. The search was over. The messenger knew that at last he had found the girl who had been the prince's partner the night before. He sent for the prince immediately. When the prince arrived, he recognized Cinderella at once. The prince asked Cinderella to be his bride. Soon they were married, and Cinderella became the most beautiful princess who had ever lived in the palace. The cruel stepmother and stepsisters begged Cinderella to forgive them, and she did. Then Cinderella and the prince began their new life together and lived happily ever after. So, today's story is over. Good night, sweet dreams.